You're hustling, putting in the work, chasing that dream. Starting a new business is freaking hard. The grind is real, but some mistakes can kill your momentum. Mistakes that separate startups that explode from those that fade. You've got passion, drive. Now let's avoid the pitfalls.
Look, I'm all about the hustle, but you can't hustle if you're selling something nobody wants. That's where market research comes in. Know your audience better than they know themselves. What are their pain points? Juicero, anyone? Epic fail. Don't be like Juicero. Do your research. Validate your idea. Build something that matters.
You know what's worse than not listening to your customers? Thinking you know better than your customers. Big mistake. Remember when Snapchat did that whole redesign? People hated it. They actually listened, eventually, but imagine if they doubled down on that mistake. Listen up, entrepreneurs. Your customers are gold. They'll tell you what they want, what they need, what you're doing right, and what you're doing wrong. Take it all in. Use it to iterate, to improve, to build something truly great.
Cash flow is the lifeblood of your business. You can have the best product, but if you can't manage money, you're toast. Pets.com, anyone? They had Super Bowl commercials but were hemorrhaging money. They burned through cash like it was going out of style. Track your expenses, understand your burn rate, and don't spend money you don't have.
You've got an amazing product, a game changer, something truly special. But what good is it if nobody knows about it? Google Glass, remember that? Cool tech, terrible marketing. They didn't tell a story, didn't connect with people. Marketing is everything. It's about storytelling, it's about building relationships. It's about getting people excited about what you're building. Don't underestimate its power.
What problem are you solving? And I don't mean a small, insignificant problem. I'm talking about a real pain point that people are desperate for a solution to. The Segway. Cool? Sure. Did it solve a real problem? Not really. And look what happened. Your value proposition is your reason for being. It's the core of your business. Make it strong, make it compelling, and make sure it's something people actually want.
Growth is good, but uncontrolled growth can be deadly. I'm all about scaling, but you've got to have the infrastructure in place to support that growth. Webvan, the grocery delivery company, learned this the hard way. They expanded too quickly, couldn't keep up with demand, and imploded. Don't get ahead of yourself. Build a solid foundation, make sure your operations can handle the growth, and then scale strategically.
The market is constantly changing. What worked yesterday might not work today. You've got to be adaptable. You've got to be willing to pivot. You've got to be open to new ideas. Kodak, they invented digital photography, but they were too stuck in their ways to embrace it. They missed the boat and paid the price. Don't be afraid to change course. Be agile, be innovative, and be willing to adapt to the ever-evolving market.
Your team is everything. They can make or break your business. Hiring the wrong people can be disastrous. Theranos, the blood testing company, is a prime example. They had a culture of fear and secrecy, and it all stemmed from the top. Hire for talent, for sure, but also hire for culture fit, for work ethic, for passion. Build a team that believes in your vision and is committed to your success.
You can't afford to be complacent. The competition is always out there and they're coming for you. Blockbuster laughed off Netflix. They didn't take them seriously. We all know how that turned out. Know your competition, understand their strengths and weaknesses, and use that knowledge to your advantage. Stay ahead of the curve, innovate constantly, and never underestimate your rivals.
You need money to make money. It's a simple fact. Running out of cash is a surefire way to kill your startup. Quibi, the short-form video platform, raised billions but burned through it all in a matter of months. Poor planning, poor execution. Secure enough funding to get you off the ground and then some. Have a solid financial plan, manage your burn rate carefully, and don't be afraid to seek out additional investment when you need it.
You can't be everything to everyone. Trying to do too much, spreading yourself too thin, it's a recipe for disaster. Color Labs, they pivoted so many times they lost sight of their core mission. They were all over the place, and it ultimately led to their demise. Focus on your strengths, on your core competencies, on what you do best. Don't try to be a jack of all trades. Be a master of one.
A ship without a captain is lost at sea. A startup without strong leadership is doomed to fail. WeWork, the co-working space company, is a cautionary tale of poor leadership. Their CEO's erratic behavior and questionable decisions created a culture of chaos and ultimately led to the company's downfall. Be a leader who inspires, who motivates, who sets a clear vision and empowers their team to execute on it. Your leadership will determine the fate of your startup.
Sometimes you have to make tough decisions, sometimes you have to admit that your original idea isn't working, and sometimes you have to be willing to pivot. Flickr started as a gaming site. They pivoted to focus on photo sharing. The rest is history. Don't be afraid to change course.
It's great to have big clients, but putting all your eggs in one basket is a risky move. BP, the used car marketplace, learned this the hard way. They relied heavily on a single investor, and when that investor pulled out, BP was left high and dry. Diversify your customer base. Don't become overly reliant on any one client. Spread your risk, build multiple revenue streams, and ensure the long-term sustainability of your business.
The law is not something to be trifled with. Ignoring legal issues can have serious consequences for your startup. Napster, the music sharing service, found this out the hard way. They failed to address copyright infringement issues and were eventually shut down. Consult with lawyers, protect your intellectual property, comply with all applicable regulations, and make sure your business is operating on solid legal ground.
Your business model is the foundation of your startup. It's how you make money. If your business model is flawed, your startup is doomed to fail. Jawbone, the wearable technology company, is a prime example. They struggled to find a sustainable business model and eventually went bankrupt. Think carefully about your revenue streams, your pricing strategy, your cost structure, and your unit economics. Make sure your business model is sound and can support the long-term growth of your startup.
The tech world moves at lightning speed. What's cutting edge today might be obsolete tomorrow. Nokia, the once dominant mobile phone maker, failed to keep up with the rise of smartphones. They clung to their outdated operating system and were quickly left behind. Stay informed about emerging technologies. Be willing to experiment with new tools and platforms, and don't be afraid to embrace innovation.
Your product is your baby. It's what you're putting out into the world. If your product is subpar, it will reflect poorly on your startup. The Samsung Galaxy Note 7, with its exploding batteries, is a cautionary tale of what can happen when product quality is compromised. Invest in quality control, test your product thoroughly, and make sure it meets the highest standards. Your reputation depends on it.
Partnerships can be incredibly beneficial, but they can also be detrimental if not chosen carefully. Yahoo's partnership with Microsoft, in which Microsoft took over Yahoo's search business, is widely considered to be a failure. Choose your partners wisely. Make sure their values align with yours, their goals complement yours, and the partnership is structured in a way that benefits both parties.
The startup grind is real. It's long hours, it's high pressure, it's constant hustle. But you can't pour from an empty cup. Uber, under its former CEO Travis Kalanick, was notorious for its toxic work culture, which led to burnout and high turnover. Take care of yourself, take care of your team, and create a sustainable work environment. Burnout is real, and it can kill your startup.
Look, starting a business is a marathon, not a sprint. There are going to be challenges, setbacks, and moments where you want to throw in the towel. But by avoiding these 20 deadly sins, you'll be way ahead of the game. You've got the hustle, you've got the passion, now go out there and make it happen. Remember, I'm here to help you every step of the way. Now go crush it.